Hi, this is Christina Zila from Textbroker. Today we're going to talk about team orders, how to create a team, how to select authors for your team, and finally, how to place a team order. So let's get started. Under Authors, you'll see a tab for Teams. If we click on that, we'll be able to create a new team. I'll go through the steps, but I'll actually use the test team that we have to show you how it looks when it's done. When we create a team, we'll need a team name and a general blurb about the team. The authors will see this information, and this is what's going to convince them to join or not. The topic is the category that all of your orders will be related to. And then the price per word is how much you will pay per word for your orders. You can change this either with the mouse or with your arrow keys. At 2.2 cents per word, you're paying the same amount as a 4-star order, but the authors actually earn a little bit more. So your team order is more interesting to authors than the open orders. Please keep that in mind when thinking about prices for your teams. The next step is the team building settings. There's 2 ways to build your team. The first is by invitation, where you invite authors to your team, so you have a lot of control about who is on your team. The second way is to do a casting call. That means any of our 100,000 authors can apply. Now, you can weed that out with conditions and applications, but anyone can apply, so you have a very broad net. The invitation text is important really for the private team. This is the notification that gets sent to the author when you invite them to your team. The conditions are very important if you choose to have them. They are not necessary by any means. However, the conditions can set the ground rules for how your orders should be treated. For example, some common conditions are all of these items will be published with my name, or you confirm that you live in the area that the orders talk about, or you have been to that area. You can also request that authors certify that they will not share any information about these orders outside of the team itself. Authors cannot see what other team members are doing, but if you want an extra level of privacy, you can include kind of like an NDA in your conditions. Like I said, no conditions. You can choose that no conditions are necessary, or you can include these terms and conditions, and you have a blank slate there. The only requirement that we have is that conditions cannot conflict with our terms of service or any U.S. laws. The terms of service, there we're mainly concerned that your privacy and the privacy of our authors are respected, so we ask that you don't ask for or share any contact information like email addresses in the conditions. The application settings are important more for casting calls than for invitations, but you may still want to use them for an invitation if you're trying to weed out a final group, or just reconfirm that the author has specific knowledge that you're looking for. The application can be pretty much anything. You can choose to have no application at all, which is great for invitation teams where you're working with authors that you've already worked with, you've already seen their work and understand how they operate. Application required is great for casting calls. You can ask them to provide you a sample. You can ask for justification on why they should be on this team. You could give them a little test and say, answer these 5 questions so that I know that you understand my topic. The length in words right here is the minimum number of words they have to submit. The shorter the application and the easier the application, the more authors will choose to join your team or at least apply for it. One small note is that if you ask for a sample, please remember that authors retain the copyright for any samples. If you find a sample that's really compelling and you want to use it on your site, please send the author a direct message asking if those rights are available. And then if they are, you can send the author a direct order for that piece. Otherwise, if the author is not paid, the rights remain with the author. When you're done, you'll hit the Create button, and I will show you what that looks like here with my test team down here. The name is Test Team. By clicking on that name, it'll go back to it'll go to the overview, it'll show the invitations, and the authors. You can block authors from your team at any time, and you can uninvite authors from your team at any time. You can change your team settings here as well, and hitting Change Team Settings will bring you to these 4 tabs. You'll see the number of authors on your team, the price per word that you've set, the number of applications you have to review, or the invitations that you've sent, as well as the number of orders that you've placed. You can delete your team at any time. Now, if you have an invitation-only team, like this one, the padlock here means that it's invitation only. If this padlock was open, you would have a casting call team. We can search for authors by clicking on Search, and we have an entire other video on how to search for authors. But when you have found an author that you like, simply click on Add Author to Team. Additionally, you can add authors from your favorites list right here to your team. Instead of clicking Search, we go up to Authors, and then Favorites, and click the Team option for whichever author you prefer. You can add authors to multiple teams, so if you have somebody who you feel is great for, say, real estate and travel, you can certainly add the author to both teams. Once you've got your team assembled, it's time to place an order. So you can place the order here by clicking on Place a Team Order. Very simple. We were under Authors Teams there. The team order form will come up. There we go. It already has your team name and your per word price. We've got a project here, and you'll just have to include the other information you would include for any open order. Scroll down, calculate order, and that will go on to your team only. It will not go to the open order pool. You can also place an order directly from Assignments, and then either from New Order here, or from the administration area down here by clicking on Start. You've seen this before, the open order, direct order, and then team order down here. If you go ahead and click on the blue, it will take you to the team order form. Once you've placed the order, it goes through the regular post-processing process. The author writes it, it gets copyscaped and sent to you. You have 3 days to review it, and after those 3 days, the order will be automatically accepted. You can ask for revisions during your 3-day review period, and you can ask for as many revisions as you like. I hope that helped you learn more about teams and team orders. If you have any questions, please email us at mail@textbroker.com. Thank you so much. I'm Christina Zila with Textbroker.